Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Zero Gravity. It's been a minute. I forgot to turn my little light on here. Let's turn it on. Been a minute since I've done one of their beers, and I saw this in the store the other day, and I figured might as well pick it up. It's not juice. It's duck juice. This is a 6.6% India Pale Ale from Zero Gravity Brewing. It says duck juice is this juicy delight is brought to you by Mosaic, Talus, Cryo, Pop Mango, and HBC 586 hops, bursting with notes of red berry, mango, and a pop of lemon lime brightness. It drinks soft and smooth and just has enough bitterness, hop bitterness, to make the vibrant fruit flavors shine. This was canned a little over a month ago. Zero Gravity, I dig what they do. Dig the brewery, been to the brewery. Like the food they have at the brewery. I'm a fan. Glad to see they made their way down here a couple of years ago, and to be perfectly honest with you, you know, these breweries coming down from up that way, Vermont and Maine and places like that, sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. Zero Gravity seems not just have stuck, but it seems like their portfolio is getting a little bit bigger down here, so it does not suck. Label-wise, it's cool. I like it. You know, duck juice. Yeah. What more do you want? Beer-wise, that looks like old school haze. I mean, it is not turbid by any stretch of the imagination. It's probably what today's kids would call clear beer, to be perfectly honest with you. So it has that subtle old school, new school, kind of pre-treehouse, kind of fiddlehead kind of level of haze to it. Pinky finger, just off white head. I mean, it looks the part of a nice chugger. Hop forward. Hopefully juicy beer. It says juice in there, so it's got to be juicy. Anyway, it's good news. Yeah. I mean, it is that old school ilk when it comes to... New school, old school when I say that. Ilk when it comes to these kind of IPAs, because it has... There's a spicy resinous kind of precursor to what you're going to get from those hops. But there is this nice citrus, very much kind of that lemon they were talking about in the mix. So it gives you that old school East Coast IPA vibes. There is this... I'd say that berry shit is pretty spot on, to be perfectly honest with you. Not many people pull off the berry component. You know, Hop Butcher, a couple come to mind, but very few and far between. And it really comes off as a vibrant, like almost like, and I don't mean this as a negative way, like confection or from concentrate juice. You know, like us, like old school people. I love old school, new school is what I say nowadays. Apparently, some people take umbrage with that. You know, when you used to get the orange juice from the freezer, from concentrate, the slab thing, or any of that stuff, it has that kind of vibe to it. I'm not saying that as a negative. It just comes off a little bit more candied, slightly not desserty or anything like that, but the sweetness on it is a little less, a little sharper, for the lack of a better term, compared to a lot of the big turbid, softer IPAs that we have going on nowadays. So yeah. Citrus abounds, nice berry components in there. This precursor is cool, kind of bittering. I say we just dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's a good beer. That's 100% a good beer. There's a cool bittering that balances off, that helps balance off that sweet fruitiness as they talk about in the can. I think that's a lot of times that goes missing with a lot of New England style hazies, because they try to drop out all that bitterness. There can be this kind of like bittering over here props up the other side, and that's what you have going on here. It drinks. It has a decent mouthfeel. It does. It's not going to be confused as being turbid or creamy or satiny, but it has a nice mouthfeel for the beer it is. But the cool thing you pull off with these beers, if you do them right, is that they drink almost lager-esque as far as the finish goes. You know, there's a West Coast IPA level of finish on this, which is super cool to marry with these kind of new school hoppy vibes, because that's what you're getting here. You're getting what gobs of citrus with that kind of lemon pop in there, and that bit of berry going on. I wouldn't dare say a bit of stone fruit floating around in there. It just makes for this cool combination on top of this really kind of tried and true old school kind of brewer's base. You know, not a brewer's malt, very much kind of malt driven. You know, like malt, I shouldn't say driven, because it is definitely a hop forward beer. Malt, what's the word? Come on, words, they're hard. Foundation to the beer that help prop up all the hops and delicious fruitiness you have going on here with this cool bittering to back everything up. I think this is a really tasty beer. I think it is kind of not what I expected. You know, it's called Juice. Expected to be a big old turbid hazy. Didn't read anything about it before I reviewed it because I like to go into these as blind as I can. But it's a tasty beer. Hop forward. There's juice components to it. I dig it. I like it. I think it's quite tasty. Is this one of the better IPAs that I've had? Absolutely yes. Mount Rushmore status? No. Ones have done me better. I've done a ton, so it's very hard to climb to the top of that mountain, but it's very, very tasty. And 100%, let's put it this way, 100% something I will pick up again, without a doubt. And I get this at this local joint. A couple local joints carry a lot of this. This is like, if I go to this really close place to me, they have a couple good things every now and then. They almost always have 0 day. And it's usually pretty fresh. Like it's like one of those cool like little like almost bodega kind of markety places that stocks just enough new school stuff to where it never sits. You know, they have some stuff that sits, some bourbon counties and stuff that is okay to sit, but they're kind of, you know, they're new school. They're kind of hop forward IPA section. It's you know, a cooler. It's always in a cooler. It's never on a shelf. And it's just in the cooler, and it's about, you know, probably about 4 shelves in the cooler, half the cooler, and that's it. And they get, you know, they'll get Grim, they'll get Equilibrium, they'll get this, they'll get other, you know, hyper stuff or like less hype stuff. But it's always nice because it seems like it rotates really, really aggressively. So you never have anything that sits all that too long, but you don't have to worry about it. 0 day labels their cans, dates their cans. So anyway, but yeah. I dig it. I think it's quite tasty. I'd pick it up again. Value and availability. I want to say I paid $12 for this. I think I'm wrong, but if I didn't, it's nowhere. It's not above 15. So you're giving this to me. Let's say, let's meet in the middle. $13.50 American for the sake of conversation. I'm all day on this, and leave you with, if you like, what will you like this? If you like new school hops but an old school base, think about, you know, a non-piney resinous West Coast kind of malt base. Maybe a touch, I don't want to say touch sweeter, touch slightly different sweeter with a new school juicy hop base to it, component to it. That's what you're getting. If you dig those flavors, you will dig this. So there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. I did. 0 day. Have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Have you had this particular beer? And what are your thoughts on it? All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully enjoyed a review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of good beer right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, y'all.